How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit and welcome back to another video. Now, before we start this video off, guys, I want to point out that this is part 4 of a series of videos that I've done on this topic. So if you want to go check out the previous ones, there's going to be probably links down in the description and also, you know, kind of like annotations to these at the end of the video. So if you want to watch the previous videos, please do so before you watch this one, because otherwise you may be pissed off the Pokemon are missing on this list compared to the other ones. So today we're going to count down the top 5 Mega Evolutions for Diamond and Pearl remakes that we hope we'll be getting on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I've got to point something major out here. This is not confirmed. We do not know if we're going to be getting Diamond and Pearl remakes, but that seems to be the most possible thing that's going to happen, and that's what we're hoping for. And also, that is why I'm excited for the E3 now this year in June, as far as I remember. I think that's when E3 is coming up. So I'm hoping that once that comes around, we'll be seeing some great games, and hopefully we'll see some cool-ass announcements, because I'm just excited to see what's going to be coming towards the Nintendo franchise. We're going to be getting any new Pokemon games. So please understand, this is not guaranteed. This is just for fun and speculation. And if you want to see the previous Pokemon we counted down, because I bet you 100% there will be Pokemon on this list that are not yours, that you do not like, you can't associate with, and Pokemon you think should be on this list, please understand they're on a previous list, so no need to, go crazy in the comments of, being mad about it. Just want to point it out right now. But either way, guys, let's get started with this video, counting down top 5 Pokemon that get to the serve to get Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. Let's get started. Number 5. Now, coming up first is going to be Bibarel. Now, yes, I get it. Bibarel is a meme Pokemon. This thing is not to be taken seriously. But if you move away that point, if you take away the point that is a pretty memey Pokemon, that you got yourself a pretty badass Mega Evolution possibility here. Now, Bibarel, in its own, is a perfect Pokemon, I think. It is a beautiful Pokemon. But imagine if you got a Mega Evolution like this one here. This is made by Fatmon, and I've got to point out that it is very nice. Now, what's really interesting about this design here is that the tail actually switches into these like spiky looking things, and I just find that to be way better than the normal Bibarel tail, because honestly, think about Bibarel, it is based on a beaver, I assume, and basically beavers usually live in dams, and imagine having this thing just destroying, trees, chopping them in half so it can build its own little dam. That's what I would imagine this thing being used for, because it does look almost like a saw, one of those like really weird like spiky bone clubs or whatever that people used back in the days. So honestly, that is a perfect tail. I could just imagine this thing being just subliminally good to have out in the forest cutting down trees, or even maybe having to cut down one of those trees with cut. Either way, I gotta say, overall, other than the general tail, the actual design is pretty cute, and it just looks a bit more serious. I mean, serious and serious, I don't know how serious you can take Bibarel, but it just looks a bit more serious than the normal Bibarel, which just looks so lost, man. I mean, this thing looks just like it's lost in thought, and that's why I feel like this kind of, new, reinvented Mega Evolution for it would be cool, especially with this Fatmon design here, because this guy is amazing at what he does, and this Mega Bibarel would be perfect. But that's going to be it for number 5. Let's go to number 4. Number 4. Now, coming up before, guys, we got ourselves a Roserade. Now, Mega Roserade would be really, really cool to have. Now, Roserade, as a general Pokemon, is a pretty beautiful Pokemon. It is supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be, a flower Pokemon, quote-unquote. But having it Mega Evolve would be pretty nice. And with this Locomotive 111 design here, we are looking at potentially cool design. Now, what we can see here is that what happens with our little Roserade is that it turns into almost like a musketeer, I would say. I mean, its eyes are blindfolded, so you can't see anything, and having that cape on really makes it look like just kind of like a knight in shining armor, but like, not really, but kind of like a musketeer is what I'm thinking. And having the blades stick out of its actual flower is such a cool thing, because instead of having, a normal holster for a sword, so they like the area around the hand, or so you don't get cut by your own sword, instead of having that part there, instead, they use the flower as the kind of handle, or no, the kind of, the shield area that kind of shields your hand, which really is a cool aspect, if I may say so myself. And overall, it just looks like a majestic sort of Pokemon that definitely would look really just kind of like a knight, and that's what this kind of looks to me like. A knight, or maybe, a musketeer, or, one of those old school sort of people with swords, if that makes any sense. I don't know what you want to call them, but, Overall, looks like a majestic Pokemon that could fit just perfectly in Pokemon. Honestly, I would not mind seeing this. Maybe go up for a battle against Aegislash, someone like that, a sword battle would be pretty cool to see. But anyway, that's going to be it for number 4, Lance. Let's go to number 3. Number 3. Now, coming in number 3, guys, we got ourselves Mega Togekiss. Now, Mega Togekiss is a Pokemon that I think may potentially happen, as a Togekiss kind of, I feel like, would be a good Pokemon to have just competitively. Now, overall, I do feel like this design here is pretty minimalistic compared to the other ones. It's not as, crazy and doesn't change too much around it, but it does add a few features, makes it a bit larger, changes around the wings and whatnot, so it still is a changed, Mega Evolution, and this one is made by C.D. Hurnley. And I gotta say, overall, it is a cool design, but what I think really would make sense here is to more talk about how this Pokemon would work, just generally speaking, as I personally haven't used Togekiss much, but I have seen it a lot around people, just generally when they play competitive. I've seen that sometimes, back in the day. I don't know if that's still relevant, as I personally am not huge in competitive battling, but I feel this Pokemon could possibly be useful in that sort of area. Now, I do find that this could be a great Pokemon to have a Mega Evolution for. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I would love to know what you guys think. Is this a Pokemon that you guys think should get a Mega Evolution, or if it's just stay away from, having a Mega if it's already good enough as it is? Maybe just keep it away from getting a Mega Evolution. I don't really know, as I personally am not too centered around, competitive battling, but I'd love to know you guys' opinion, as you guys probably are 100 times better at competitive battling compared to me. So either way, it's going to be it for that one, lads. Let's go to number 2. Number 2. Now, coming at number 2, guys, we got ourselves Mega Gastrodon. Now, Gastrodon, ever since I first laid my eyes on this thing, it has been one of those Pokemon that when I just see it, I imagine just bulkiness. And I could imagine possibly having a Mega Gastrodon. And with this design right here, I gotta say, we got ourselves a potential beauty. Now, Gastrodon here, it again has a bit of a minimalistic style, design. It's not too crazy, but you can see how this could work as a Mega Evolution. This one was made by Lucas Costa. And Lucas Costa, man, you are really good at designs, bro, and I do really just love your work, man. But I've got to say this, though. I really would want to see how this thing would work like. Because I remember that this is one of those Pokemon, if I remember correctly, it was pretty bulky. It was pretty bulky of a Pokemon, and it was a very useful Pokemon to have around. So I would say a Mega Evolution, yes please. I would not mind seeing that, and I would not be I wouldn't complain about it, honestly. Gastrodon is a Pokemon I would not mind seeing get a Mega Evolution, and with this design here, I would be so satisfied because it just works, man. It's a simple change, a bit larger, adding more to its head, and I think it even receives, a more it's more like smiling face, if that makes any sense. So I would be happy with that, lads. Either way, that's going to be it for that one, lads. Let's go to number 1. Number 1. And coming in at the number 1 spot, lads, we got ourselves Mega Crobat. Now, Mega Crobat is something that I would love to see. Crobat has been one of those Pokemon that I've always had a weird relationship with. So I hate Zubats. I just despise them. They're a pain in the ass to deal with. Golbat, I think, is a derpy-ass Pokemon with too large of a mouth. And then you have Crobat. I mean, you had so much horribleness before it, but then you get Crobat. And Crobat is what I wanted Zubat to be. It is the perfect bat Pokemon. It is just the perfect one. I love it, and this is why I think it does deserve to get a Mega Evolution. Crobat is a good Pokemon to have around in your team when you play through Pokemon games. It doesn't have to be competitive, it's just generally a good Pokemon to have. I do not mind it. I actually, personally, do love it, and I would not mind seeing a Mega Evolution, especially with the design made like this by Smiley Fakemon, of course. Now, as you can see, there are minor changes here, but these changes are good enough for me. I feel like just changing the small parts of the body makes sense. Adding a few things to it, features, changing the colors around a bit, makes sense. But the most important thing is, this thing just has to happen. It has to have a Mega Evolution, and it has to become stronger and even more usable. It is already a usable Pokemon, but imagine it being even more usable, and that's why I want to mention this. Either way, guys, that's going to be it for this list, lads. Now, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then smash the like button below, subscribe for future videos, and also make sure to check out the designers in the links down below, guys. They are the people that make these videos possible. Without them, I wouldn't be able to make any of these videos, so please do show them some love. But that's about it for me today, lads. I hope you do enjoy these videos. If you want to see more, let me know down below. I've already done several parts of this and I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any more. If I do any more, it's going to be on Pokemon that are kind of, you know, just all over the place. It's going to be different Pokemon. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. That's going to be it for the day, guys. I'll catch you trainers next time. Bye-bye.